Hello, everyone. So excited to welcome you to our new space. We're looking forward to getting started this Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time in the US. But wanted to basically just welcome you all. A lot of you have already reached out, and I just feel so full right now, and already in community with you all. Just wanted to quickly send a quick welcome message and explain more kind of what this space, what my intention is for this space. But as always, we'll go with the flow. We will see where, basically our needs, our intentions, and just our collective kind of vibe takes us. But yeah, I just want to basically kind of quickly talk about like three main things that I would like you to keep in mind as you consider whether this space does align with you in this moment. And they are know this space, know thyself, and invitation. So three things. So what do I mean with know this space? So when I was kind of getting the messages about forming this space, it was really about creating a space for those of us who consider ourselves observers or witnesses to what this present moment in humanity is about, and because of that awareness, because of kind of understanding what potential it contains, we kind of see ourselves as the keepers of this process, right? We may have actual jobs that are that hold where you are tasked with holding space for people. You may not have an official title or career around this, right? But you know that that's kind of your calling. And so that's why I call folks like us keepers, right? Keepers of wisdom, keepers of folks, keepers of experiences, keepers of wisdom. So again, that can be anybody, right? So the Cenote, which is kind of like underground caves that you can see throughout the Americas, but the ones that I really am drawn to are the ones in Mexico. But the thing about them that truly kind of encapsulates what this space feels like to me is this kind of, you get a moment to breathe, right? You get the moment to go off the radar, away from community, to just be yourself, and just let yourself feel, let yourself heal, let yourself cry, and also be with people and other essences that see and feel and are going through the same thing as you. So you can kind of think about it as the medic tent, back in the days during wars, right? Like people would be out in the field and fighting and whatnot, but then going to the medic's tent to kind of be patched up, to heal, to have their wounds tended to, and so forth. You can also kind of think about it as the red tent, right? In more indigenous practices where, women who were on their bleed would, leave the village, and everybody understood that, right? Like the community understood that at some point, at any given time, a group of women would be, off the grid, basically, to tend to themselves, to be in community with other sisters, and just have time away from it all, from their responsibilities, from their roles, and just be and be able to be in their bodies, sink and return back to themselves before they went back out and serve in whatever way they felt called to. So that's basically what I hope this space will be for all of us. And so I'm really excited to get started. I want to make sure that we also understand, because I know some of you and some of us have met through work or through community organizing. Just want to make sure that everybody understands this is not to organize, right? This space is not to organize. It's not for solution finding of, whatever may be happening in the countries that we all live in. It's really more, again, a place for you to be without your roles, without your identities, to rest, to be held, and to, yes, kind of bear witness and share kind of what we're all observing, but not necessarily from a taking myself for example, from a Black woman, middle-aged mother, of a certain career, da 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 da, but rather as a human, as a soul, as as an observer of my own lived experience, but that of the collective. What do I see? What is it that I would like others who are looking at the same thing as me are seeing, right? So that's really kind of what I hope to do, staying away from the actual details of politics or groups or what that may be, but rather, what are the possibilities right now? What does the future look like right now? Um, One of my dear friends always said, that she said, Carla, I'm not interested in patching up slave ships, but rather want to build spaceships, right? So again, not kind of being reactive and trying to fix systems that we already know are broken, but rather where is humanity going next, right? Like we're not having these conversations enough. Where do we want to go next? What should it have looked like from the get-go? What does a collective, a community, a country, a city, the globe look like when we start with what should be there for all, for anybody, for everybody, right? So from that angle, so that I hope that's the space that we can sit in. So that's know the space. So and then the second point I want to make is like know thyself, right? Again, yes, we all have identities. Yes, we all have roles. But again, I will keep encouraging us to stay in a most truest essence of who we are as souls, as divine beings, basically. Because that, I believe, at least in my journey, has usually always led me to the most fulfilling and more healing kind of outcomes or paths. So I'm hoping that we can kind of cultivate that together. That means that I don't shy away from, but try to understand my shadows, and you can interpret it as you will, like your triggers, your trauma, your wounds, and so forth, right? Because only if I'm aware of those, I know when I might be projecting things, when I may be making assumptions, where I may engage in a triangle of disempowerment, kind of having a victim's narrative in my head, or the savior narrative in my head, or even the perpetrator. So again, it's about knowing yourself as you go into collective spaces, so you understand what kind of energy and impact you bring to the collective, right? So you might get a gentle nudge from me every now and then to say, okay, definitely understand that this is how it feels, so what does that teach you? What does this moment or this emotion or this trigger teach you of where you still can grow, right? Or what kind of things are you bumping up against that you have maybe not fully investigated yet or looked into yet, right? So expect that. And then again, I'm a huge believer of, showing up as how you feel that day, as who you are that day, and staying authentic to who you are. But and also understand that, whatever that may be, will contribute to what the overall energy will be in the collective. Again, I'm not saying like don't show up if you're not, not at all, right? You can come as tired, as drained, as exhausted, or silent, as you wish to be, right? And you can just say, hey, everyone, today I'm just going to be quiet, or today I'm just going to listen, or today whatever, right? So again, like know thyself, know what you need that day, whenever we meet, and engage with the activity or the conversation as it's nourishing to you. One thing I really want to make sure is that we are all equals. It doesn't matter if you've done healing work or are you on your journey, whatever that may be, right? I just want everybody to show up as authentically as possible, not thinking that you're kind of behind or should not speak up or share because you don't have a title or you're not being referred to in a certain way. Scrap that, right? Everybody has wisdom, everybody has truth to share. So I just want to make sure that we all come with that kind of awareness anchored in. Okay, and the last point is invitation. So some of you know, in the human design framework, I'm a projector. And I do best when my advice or guidance is asked for, right? So that means I have to wait for an invitation, because if I give unsolicited advice, we all know how that can feel, right? That's not always usually, that can oftentimes not be received well, because it's not the right time or not the right way or not the right message. So what I hope we can practice in this space is to listen and wait for an invitation. There's no teacher among us, there's no leader among us. We're all basically here to witness each other and be observers of this collective moment experience that we're going through. So if we do open up and share with the group or within the group, that in itself is not an automatic request for feedback or opinion or follow-up thoughts, right? So what I hope that we all can honor is to listen, witness first and foremost, and then if whoever shares something says, and I invite your perspective, your insights into what I just shared, then we ought to feel free to share whatever wisdom you are able to offer in that moment. But other than that, again, I don't want to do this like rule intensive thing here, but I just want to kind of set the ground, lay the ground, put the pillows, put the kind of the comfy rugs in our container, so to speak, so that when we all arrive, we kind of know what type of community we are building here. So I'm very, very excited to be in this space with you, be in community, be in solidarity with it, be in communion with you all. Come as you are, get your fill. This is why the space is here. Be witnessed, be held, and come to the water. So really very much looking forward to welcoming you all. Obviously share this with anybody who you think would want to have this support, have this space. But other than that, here we are, and let's hold each other and be with each other as we hold space, as we are keepers. Take care.